Hey, welcome to Table Tennis Philosophy. Today we're going to talk about avoiding injuries in table tennis. And first question you should have is, why should you listen to me on this subject? I am not a medical doctor. Don't take medical advice from table tennis coaches, but I do have some credentials. I've managed to live to the age of 64 with almost no injuries at all. Certainly nothing that's plaguing me at the moment. I had little things here and there. Most of my life I was a distance runner and was injury-free through most of that. And worked a good portion of my life as a United Parcel Service delivery driver and never had any injuries through that. For what it's worth, this is my own experience, which brings us to the first point, which is you really have to know yourself. What's true for me may not be exactly true for you. So you can take whatever you'd like from this particular video, and I think most of it's pretty sound advice that the medical community would not disagree with, but you really have to know yourself, because I think I was blessed with good genes as far as my parents were fairly healthy and didn't inherit a lot of problems from them, and stayed active my entire life. So that has made a big difference. So first thing in avoiding injuries in table tennis and just about any other sport is start slow. There's some disagreement about, should you be stretching before you work out? Should you stretch after? Should you stretch in the middle? Should you be stretching at all? And I would say that there's certainly room for doing some flexibility exercises. I myself am amazingly unflexible. I can't touch my toes, which is probably that's not a sign of good health. But again, some people are just naturally more flexible, some are not. So when you're starting to play table tennis, don't try to hit the first ball as hard as you can. Start slow. Get into position, hit some backhands, build up, hit some forehands, build up your speed. I know people that go jog a lap around the gym just to get their blood circulating, but the big point is start slow. Don't dive in head first to full speed when you're warming up. And in fact, do get a good warm up. Some people don't warm up at all, and if their first opponent happens to be their toughest opponent, they're setting themselves up for injury on that. So that would be my first point. Okay, now this sounds like old man talk, but it's been true my entire life. You really want to get the right kind of shoes. Now, do I recommend table tennis shoes? Not necessarily. I don't recommend running shoes most of the time, because running shoes are meant for going forward. Table tennis shoes tend to be light. Most table tennis shoes don't give you a whole lot of support. So again, you have to know yourself. What's comfortable for you and what do you feel well balanced in? You want something, I would think, in table tennis that's light, but again, if you're a very heavy person, you may need something with extra support, more like a good tennis shoe. I've got, let's see, I own some volleyball shoes, some cross trainers. Actually haven't found good table tennis shoes, and I've tried. The shoes that I currently use for competition are light running shoes, but they're not like most other running shoes, and I feel pretty comfortable in them. And again, know yourself, know the shoes, try them on, use them, figure out, are you balanced, are you likely to fall using them, or twist an ankle. Know yourself, but I wouldn't underestimate having proper footwear. And as by the way, this video was prompted by someone asking me in particular how to avoid injuries, because they developed table tennis elbow, not table tennis elbow, it's tennis elbow, but they got it playing table tennis. And after going into table tennis after being away for a while. So that's another point, is that if you have taken a break and are getting back into it, you may not want to do it every single day. And I know when you have the opportunity, it's hard to turn down the chance to play, but you may need to take some days off, particularly if you're having any soreness in your joints, any kind of deal with that. Give yourself some rest days. And running, that's pretty much standard. Depending on your level of fitness, you always need some rest days. Some runners run one day, rest one day, and while you would think you could play table tennis every single day, the higher level you're playing at, the bigger a strain it is on your body, and particularly if you're playing at a high level and playing every day, and you're, let's say, over 50, then you need some rest days. You absolutely need those rest days. Okay, what do we have? All right, this would be a touchy subject. You might need to lose some weight, and I say that fully realizing that that's not such an easy thing for everybody to do, and even if you have lost a lot of weight, it's not always easy to keep it off. My personal path to keeping my weight down is I never eat breakfast, try to give myself a long period of time. It's sort of a loose intermittent fasting, but during my working years, I almost never had anything more for breakfast other than a banana, and you might be surprised if you think you absolutely have to have breakfast or you're gonna suffer. Once you get used to not eating it, it actually is not difficult at all. The other thing that really helps is drastically cutting back on carbohydrates and sugar. So again, I've said this to other people, and they claim it wouldn't work for them or have tried things, and usually if you dabble in intermittent fasting or cutting back in your carbohydrates, it will be difficult perhaps for the first day or two. My experience is it's not that tough after a couple days. You actually, once you start seeing some weight fall off and see the benefits of that, it's you'll be motivated to keep going with that. Okay, so we got that. All right, the other suggestion I would have, if you really want to avoid injuries in your table tennis life, is find a complementary sport, a complementary workout, something else that you do that strengthens other parts of your body. I know runners. I know table tennis players that run. I know table tennis players that do some swimming, weightlifting, play tennis, pickleball, any number of other things that are just at least a little bit different than table tennis, and throw that in. My experience is that you'll probably find you actually play table tennis better by taking at least one day a week off and playing something completely different. And it's mentally, I think it's helpful, and you can really enjoy the other sport, and maybe it's something you don't take quite as seriously. Maybe you're not as competitive in that, but you can just enjoy it for the fun of it, and it will build, different muscles, maybe stamina in a way that just pure playing table tennis and table tennis training might not. All right, so that was a request for something along the lines of what you can do to avoid injuries in table tennis, and particularly for older players. So hope you got something out of that, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.